The crypto market has been pretty crazy over the last few months, and specifically, even in the last few days and weeks, we have seen some interesting moves in the crypto world. Most recently and notably, we can argue that Bitcoin has had a phenomenal run at 345% since the bear market low of 2022 and hitting a new all-time high just days ago. Now, obviously, the crypto market moving the way that it has done, it has to kind of be really scrutinized in a little bit of a different way than we would normally. We can't just look at Bitcoin's history and think that history is repeating itself. And I know there's that common saying that this time is different. And well, I'm going to show you a few things in today's video that might make you think differently about crypto. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video update. And yeah, Chris is on holiday, so I've taken over the, well, me and JB have taken over the Cheeky Crypto Uncensored channel. And I wanted to kind of take this time slot today to kind of talk about crypto market generally and to show you a few interesting things from the charts point of view. And this is going to be quite an interesting video, at least in my point of view, in my perspective, it is interesting if you're into kind of data-led and kind of logical thought processes and things like that. But I do want to kind of make this video very much about how taking profits is very important, and we don't want to get too greedy and all those kind of things. There's a lot of things in the crypto space that make a lot of sense, right? We say, always be greedy when people are fearful, and be fearful when people are greedy, and taking profits, and FOMO, and all of these various different sayings, not your keys, not your crypto. There's a lot of them in this space, and some of them actually make a lot of logical sense. And I want to focus in on taking profits and going to show you some data points or some charts that I think are interesting to kind of back up why I still see massive moves in the crypto space. I don't think we really have seen anything just yet. And I'm going to jump down into the charts in just a moment to kind of explain why I think we are getting probably a little bit too excited a tad too soon when it comes to crypto. So let's go ahead and bring up our first chart, right? Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's price action has been quite interesting, right? Pretty phenomenal growth, specifically in 2023 and early 2024 with the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Now, these fundamental changes that we have seen with Bitcoin having a Bitcoin spot ETF approved by the SEC actually allows us to see a significant amount of inflows for Bitcoin, but not in the way that historically we have seen. Okay, so when it comes to the Bitcoin spot ETFs, people are buying into shares on the ETF side, the stock market play. Now, that ETF has to own Bitcoin in order to create the shares to sell. So by indirectly flowing the money from the stock market into the crypto market. Now, there's a few misconceptions with this, and I think these are quite important things that we need to understand. Just because money has flowed into Bitcoin through the Bitcoin spot ETF does not mean that money is going to roll out of Bitcoin into the altcoins. We're not going to see that same thing that we had seen previously. In previous bullish markets, Bitcoin would go on an absolute tear and money would come out of Bitcoin, go into Ethereum. Ethereum would have a run to the upside, come out of Ethereum and go into altcoins. And what we tend to find is basically not all projects and not all altcoins, not all tokens launch and rally and pump all at the same time. There's actually a bit of a lag and delay, and you can see the money rolling out of one into the other. However, with Bitcoin spot ETF being just a stock market play, although the ETF itself has to buy the Bitcoin, has to hold the Bitcoin in treasury, that Bitcoin, that money isn't going to roll out of Bitcoin and go into the Ethereum or altcoins because, well, it's not in the crypto market, it's in the stock market. That's stock market money and it's a stock market play, right? And so when people who are buying those Bitcoin ETF shares do decide to take profit, Well, the Bitcoin's going to come out of the treasury, it's going to land on the market, but that money isn't going to necessarily roll into crypto, not unless those individuals actually want to load up exchanges and start talking about how they can deploy their capital through, through, let's say, Binance, Coinbase, or whatever. Alternatively, of course, there might be some over-the-counter opportunities as well, depending on how big of a play some of these players are. But for the most part, my main talking point and what my takeaway needs to be here, at least I think the takeaway needs to be, is that we can't expect the same historical price movements of the altcoin market based on what is happening right now. And I've got a few charts that I want to show you to kind of help back up this understanding. So to start with, we have this one here. This is the total market cap of crypto on the 1 week time frame. We can see that we've had pretty good growth when it comes to total market cap. Now, we do have to obviously have to talk about, and we have to understand that the total market cap for crypto is simply just price multiplied by supply, and that gives you an idea of value. It's not actually a clear representation of the amount of money in crypto. Okay, it's very important we understand that what we were actually talking about here is a very simple calculation. Let's take Bitcoin price multiplied by the Bitcoin circulating supply, gets you a market cap. That means that price dictates market cap, and what really moves price is supply and demand. So although the market cap is really an important number for trying to, at least the best we can, kind of gauge where things are in terms of ranking, it doesn't show you the liquidity. It doesn't show you anything meaningful outside of that. Understand that there is actually not $2.44 trillion in crypto. It's an important one because that money doesn't exist. You cannot liquidate all of crypto instantaneously and extract $2.44 trillion. It's impossible, right? So it doesn't represent liquidity. It doesn't show you the amount of money in crypto. It just shows you an idea of value. Now, when we jump into this, we can see, as I said, $2.442 trillion market cap. In the previous bullish market, we topped out at $3 trillion, right? But this thing is slightly different, okay? At the point of recording this video, we are about 23% away from the all-time high for total market cap. But things don't get as clean when we actually start taking a look at it total 2. Now, total 2, it basically excludes Bitcoin from the equation. And here you can see that there's a definite difference between where the altcoin market is versus where the Bitcoin market is. Total market cap being 2.44 trillion. Exclude Bitcoin, we're at 1.12 trillion, and we're 51.7% approximately from the all-time high for total market cap too. This did top out at $1.7 trillion in that previous bullish market. So my point here is that total market cap can be a little bit misleading. It makes you feel that maybe we're in that super bullish market and things are really running massively to the upside. We're almost at $3 trillion. Oh my God, isn't it amazing? But we have to also bear in mind that actually a lot of that is being driven from the Bitcoin spot ETF, and that money isn't rolling into the altcoins. And we actually see a pretty significant difference between all-time highs, 23% for total market cap and 51% for total 2 market cap. Okay, these are pretty different, large variable differences between total and total 2. Now, when we go into total 3, we can also see very similar. Now, what is total 3? Let's exclude Bitcoin. Let's exclude Ethereum, right? Then we're just talking about those altcoins. Now, this did top out at $1.13 trillion for all altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum in the previous bullish market. And at the moment, from our current point of recording this video, we are hovering around 70% away from that all-time high. This shows us yet again that there is a hyper focus on maybe just the top 2 crypto altcoins, or 2 cryptos, right? Bitcoin and potentially, you can argue, Ethereum. But we have to also take into consideration here that the altcoins really haven't started to run in any meaningful way just yet. Don't get me wrong, there's a handful of them, in fact, that have performed incredibly well so far. Solana is a clear example of something that has performed very well and has got close to all-time highs. But these are the exception, not the rule. We can see that there are many altcoins, in fact, the majority of altcoins, that are lagging significantly behind in this bullish market. That means I kind of think that this is, although a fantastic start to something, is only just the beginning, and we've got a long journey ahead before we actually start to see those parabolic moves. This is an indication that Bitcoin's price action at the moment, although great, is really only the start of something much bigger. We might have the odd correction here or there, might be 20, 30, 40%, but those are minor corrections in a much bigger macro play, in my opinion. Over the next 12, 24, maybe even 36 months, we are going to experience, in my opinion, one of the biggest bullish markets that crypto has ever seen. It is going to dwarf anything that we have seen previously. And I think a lot of it is going to be driven from Bitcoin spot ETF, Ethereum spot ETF, and maybe even a few additional altcoins that have been spoken about recently. I think the stock market money coming into cryptocurrency assets through people like Coinbase, being the treasury and the facilitators of these ETFs, are the next big thing that is going to skyrocket. But not all crypto altcoins will run at the same time. I expect money to be rolling around, but it's going to take time to play out. All of these moves that I'm talking about here are going to be absolutely insane when we actually start to see them. Bitcoin moving up to $150,000, 170, maybe 200K. These are all pretty manageable and easy to do numbers with the stock market play of the Bitcoin spot ETF. The same will be said for Ethereum. I spoke about this in another video not that long ago, where Ethereum's spot ETF is going to do very similar things than what we have already seen with the Bitcoin market. The crypto space overall, whether we take a look at Total 2, or Total 3, shows a very clear pattern. Altcoins are yet to really have a significant play, and when they do start getting some traction to them, we are going to see the total market cap absolutely explode to numbers that a lot of people just a couple years ago thought was absolutely impossible. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. I do want to kind of urge you guys that taking profits is very important. I do think this journey is going to be very long and drawn out, and I do think we're going to see some really good significant gains. But if you've got a portfolio that's very meaningful and you've got profits, it's never a bad idea to lock them in my opinion. But do bear in mind, I am no financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. All I can do is share you my thoughts and opinions as I see it in the space. Guys, why don't you check out this video right here where, well, I'm discussing what's going on with Ethereum and why I think the Ethereum spot ETF might be a fantastic play.